Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gertrude Bosibori, and for those who are watching me for the first time, thanks and welcome. So today I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this distressed faux locks, and if you're interested to know how I achieved this look using the straight synthetic hair, then keep on watching. Well, I used 4 braiding packs to achieve this look, 2 in the color number 1 and 2 in the color number 350. I used a braiding rack, hair food oil, a white tooth comb, and some straws. And I used balloon straws for this look. I combined the two packs, the number 1 color, and I just applied a little bit of oil to it so that it can have some smoothness and some shine to it. And I also did the same thing for the color number 350. Now I combine the 4 packs together and I just place them on top of each other, and this is an important step because now you're going to be blending the 2 colors together, and you just divide them into half, as you can see, and the other half you just place it on top of that other half, and you keep on doing the same process. And sometimes you're going to be separating like a quarter of it and placing on top of it, depending on how concentrated the color is in that area, so that you can ensure that both of the colors have been blended well. And keep on doing the same process again and again, and make sure to comb it through so that it doesn't have any tangles in it. And as you can see, it's not perfect, but I like how it turned out. And I sectioned it into smaller sections and I just put them on my braiding rack. Now this is one of the important steps in this video, and I'll be wrapping and twisting the braid so that it can have the curl form in the end. And the fact that, okay, I love using the balloon straws because it's more sturdy, and when you're wrapping the braid around it, it's unlike the regular straws. This one does not move. The regular straws, I think they move a lot when you're braiding it, so it's a bit hard for you to wrap it around the straws, but this one is so much steadier and it doesn't bend at all. And you just twist it around the tip area and put a bobby pin, and you start twisting the braid around the straws. For those who are not familiar with this step or don't know how to do it, I did a close-up shot so that you can see how you're supposed to twist the braid around it. So you just twist and then wrap, twist and then wrap, twist and then wrap, twist and then wrap, and continue doing that up to the end of the braid. And the smaller parts of the braid, which is at the end, I just use it to secure at the bottom of the braid so that it doesn't move. So I did not need to get another bobby pin to secure the bottom or use a thread, and it was secure enough. And I just poured hot water. I did half of the bunch, and for each bunch I used like 1.5 jugs of hot water to ensure that all the braids have been submerged well. Do not pour all the braids at once because you might find not all of them they're going to be submerged well in the water. Make sure to submerge well in the water so that the curls can be formed easily. And I used a dry towel and to just ensure that any excess water can come off, and I just patted it lightly. After you're done, make sure to put them in a place where they're going to dry overnight and they won't be disturbed until the next day. So the following day, I just removed the bobby pin from the top area slowly, and then gently As you can see, it's still secure at the bottom, so gently at the top I just pushed it downwards slowly in each step so that it can be easy to remove at the bottom without any braid getting tangled up. Just remove it slowly and gently so that you don't disturb the curls. As you can see, the curl is very beautiful, and at the small hole, as you can see, you can just put your finger through it or use a comb, so that it can be easy for you to separate or open up the braid into two, so that it can be easy for you to work on it later on when you're putting it on your hair. And make sure to separate gently so that you don't disturb the curls as well. And I did the same thing for all the other braids, as you can see, and I just placed them on my braiding rack. And with the help of my sister, she actually helped me with sectioning the braids, so it was easier for me to just get on right with the video. And right now I'm just fluffing out the braid so that it can look more fluffy and full. And using a crochet hook, I just pass the braid through the through my hair and just pull it through, and make sure one side is a bit shorter so that it's easy for you to just pass it quickly, like that. You don't need to have it completely halfway. I just wrapped at the root area. Make sure to wrap it around 3 to 4 times, which is what I did, so that it can be more secure and look more neat. And once you've wrapped it around 3 to 4 times, you can now continue wrapping um tightly. I continued wrapping tightly and smoothly because this is going to be like the first base of it. When you reach to your desired length, the braid that I was using earlier on, I stopped using, so I used the other braid which I wasn't using to just wrap it back up, as this is going to be like your second base. And you just wrap it messily, if that makes sense, so that it can have, okay, you just wrap it up messily, as you can see, and lightly as well. Now the braid that I began wrapping my hair with is the one that I'm going to be using as the last step. I fluffed it out more, and in this step you just wrap it slightly loosely. As you can see, we have two bases already, so it's going to give the illusion of having like a full look for that braid. So you just wrap it lightly around it, but slightly neatly. Once I've wrapped it, I just rubbed it between my palms, so that it can look more neater. And I repeat the same step. If your hair is longer like mine and you wanted to do a short look, I just crocheted the hair, as you can see, so that it can look a bit shorter, and I'm able to achieve the length that I wanted. And you just pass the braid again with the crochet hook, and you measure the length of where you want your braid to reach, and start wrapping. And I wrapped around 3 to 4 times again. It all depends on how big your braid is, or how big you want it to be. Once I was done wrapping at the roots, I continued wrapping it tightly and neatly, as this is my first base, like I mentioned. You continue wrapping all the way down, and if you want to add more length, if you desire to have more length, you just take a little bit of more braid to it, and then just put it at the bottom and hold one end securely and start twisting it around there so that it can form like a knot-ish, if that makes sense, and also twist the other side of it. And the good thing about this is, even if you twist it weirdly, you're going to cover it up later on. And I just continued wrapping up to the length that I wanted. And this is the loop that I was mentioning. You just form that small loop and now wrap the messy. It can be as messy as you want it to be, because it's going to still be covered up with the last braid which you had begun with. So just wrap it loosely and messily. And the fact that I like, if you wrap it loosely, it's going to form a slight volume to it rather than wrapping it tightly. And now the last braid, which I began braiding the hair with, is the one that I'm going to be wrapping my hair as the last step. You wrap it neatly but slightly loosely, so that it has the effect of a distressed look. I just rub it between my palms, and that's it. This is how they turned out. I did 52 braids in total, and I love how they turned out. It has some smoothness and shine to it, but it also looks distressed, and I love it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video so far. There are 2 to 3 things that I'd like to mention concerning the straight synthetic hair when you're trying to achieve this look. But before I get into that, there's something I'd like to show you guys, to introduce to my hair. It's an addition to my hair collection, and I'm pretty sure you saw it earlier on in the video, and it's my new braiding rack. I actually made it myself. It took some time, but I managed like around 3 days or so, because I had to get different parts. So it was a bit challenging, but I could have managed in 1 day if I had everything. And I used nails instead of, I'm pretty sure you've seen the other videos, they have like wooden sticks around these areas, but I couldn't find them very easily, so I decided to use the nails, as you can see. And I used 2-inch nails I used 2-inch nails for this braiding rack. Anyway, back to what I wanted to say. The first thing is that when you're using these braids, the synthetic braids, they are very light, which was actually very surprising, because I thought it's going to be heavy. Okay, I only used 4 packs, and I normally use 6 to 8 packs on my hair on most of the time, and these ones, they're very, very light according to me. I prefer a more natural looking style than, okay, it has a slight volume to it, but it still looked natural, and that's what I was going for. I don't like something that's too big on my head, and I think these braids are just perfect, because I only used 4 braids, and it still has volume, as you can see. Earlier on, as you saw in the video, I did I combined all 4 braids into one so that I can mix them well, but I had a lot of challenges with that, because normally if you're mixing like 2 colors, you have to keep on separating, then joining, separating, then joining. You have to keep on passing your fingers through it or combing so that it doesn't get tangled up, and I experienced a lot of shedding, and I think it's because the volume that I was using at that moment, it was quite a lot. And I think I'll insert a video of how much the braids that had shed while I was mixing the two colors while I'm talking in the video, and it was very challenging. So I'd like to advise you, if you're going to be using two different colors, or even just two different colors, make sure that you use only two, a maximum of two at a time, because I eventually had to separate the braids into two, the whole bunch into two, and it made it easier for me. It was easy for me to work on it and mix the braids well, and there was less shading than before. And lastly, what I'd like to mention is, which is like an obvious thing, is the price point of using this straight synthetic braid to achieve this look. And it's very affordable, because I only used 4 packs which cost 60 shillings each, and I think this is a very good alternative for those who are not able to buy this I would say curly braids or the kinky braids, which one pack goes for like 300 to maybe even 500 shillings, depending on the style that you want. Most likely you're going to be using a minimum of 2 packs at a time, 2 packs, sorry, so which is going to cost like almost 1,000 shillings to just achieve this look. So I think this is a very good and a better alternative for anyone who wants to try out this look but doesn't want to go above the budget or spend a lot of money on it. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do so down below. And until next time, bye.